What if the only thing standing between you and everything you were born to do is hesitation? That split-second delay, that pause before you act. You break the mental loop that keeps you stuck in cycles of guilt, anxiety, and avoidance. You stop rehearsing your fears and start writing new possibilities. It may be uncomfortable. It may feel unnatural. But that discomfort is the sign you're doing something different, something necessary. That pattern becomes a habit, and that habit becomes a new you. A you who moves with intention, a you who shows up even when it's hard, a you who no longer negotiates with doubt. This is your moment, not to wait, not to think, but to move. Stand up, step forward, do the thing. Every day you delay, you reinforce the idea that it's safer to stay small. But there is no safety in staying small, only slow decay. The longer you sit still, the heavier your dreams become. They weigh on your chest, your thoughts, your energy. You have to stop asking how you feel and start asking what you've committed to. Because feelings are unstable, but commitment is power. Discipline is power. Integrity to your own goals is power. You do not rise because you feel good. You rise because you have decided to become something greater. But only if you act, only if you move, only if you decide that nothing is stronger than your will to rise. You can't afford to keep living in your head. Every moment spent overthinking is a moment stolen from your progress. Every second lost to doubt is a second you could have used to move. Stop building your days around what's easy. Easy will rob you. It will steal your edge, blur your focus, dull your hunger. You were not made for easy. You were made for challenge. You were made to stretch. You were made to lead yourself even when nothing in you wants to. You weren't created to relive the same day, the same fear, the same hesitation. You were made to evolve, to break cycles, to move forward, and that movement starts now, in this second, with your next decision, not tomorrow, not later, now, because life won't wait, purpose won't wait. It's the voice of your future calling you forward, and it will never go away until you move. You don't lack talent. You don't lack opportunity. You're not waiting on the world. The world is waiting on you. The doors don't open for the most gifted. They open for the most committed. And when you suppress that divine call to grow, you suffer internally. Not because you're broken, but because you're avoiding the path that would build you. Start demanding more from yourself than you demand from the world. Stop waiting for a sign. Stop searching for inspiration. You don't have to be the most gifted. You just have to be relentless. You just have to keep showing up. Over time, consistency will compound into mastery. Faithfulness will forge excellence. Discipline will deliver breakthrough, not by magic, but by momentum. So keep moving, keep building. It rewards action. It rewards sacrifice. It rewards the one who shows up when it's hard, when it's silent, when there's no applause. So if your soul is heavy with unfulfilled dreams, it's not because you're not capable. It's because you've delayed obedience to your purpose. Success isn't about doing everything. It's about doing the right things repeatedly until mastery becomes your default. The version of you that you're fighting to become is not found in convenience. It is forged in fire, in early mornings and late nights, in repetition without recognition. The process will demand everything from you, but it will return something far greater. Power, clarity, confidence, and freedom. Not freedom from difficulty, but freedom from limitation. And that freedom is earned, not with wishes, not with intentions, but with action. Daily, relentless, unapologetic. Built when no one sees. Built when you rise before the sun and grind after everyone else has quit. Most people will never experience the next level of their lives, not because they're incapable, but because they keep feeding the version of themselves that avoids pressure. But pressure is a gift. The mind is your battlefield, and if you don't master it, it will master you. You are not your doubts. You are not your past. You are not the lies your fear has whispered. You are the one who decides what stays and what goes. You are the one who commands this next chapter. You are the author of what happens next, not chance, not time. You choose your power, command your energy, honor your mission, and move. When you take command of your energy, the world can no longer dictate your direction. You stop reacting and start creating. You stop chasing and start becoming. Every time you delay action, you reinforce a belief that says you're not capable yet. Every time you hesitate, you train your nervous system to flinch instead of focus. You weren't designed to live behind fear. You were made to crush it, to confront it, to confront it. That growth is your standard. That excellence is not an event. It's your culture. You are done tolerating mediocrity in your actions and wondering why you don't feel fulfilled. Excellence begins when excuses end. Everything you want exists on the other side of discipline, not desire, not hope. It needs someone who burns so intensely with purpose that nothing can pull them back to who they used to be. Be that person. Relentless, focused, unstoppable. Stop settling for effort without results. Stop mistaking movement for progress. Progress belongs to the one who moves regardless. You do not have to feel strong to act strong. You act strong until the feeling aligns. Courage is not born from certainty. It is born from movement. The longer you hesitate, the louder your doubts become. There is a war between the part of you that wants to stay the same and the part of you that is crying to be born. Feed the one that leads you forward. Every hour you waste is a seed of regret waiting to grow. But every moment you seize is a seed of transformation taking root. There comes a moment when you must stop asking for permission to become powerful. You must silence every lingering voice that tells you to wait, to shrink, to stay where it's safe. Power is not given. And activation begins when you finally say, enough. Enough with delay. Enough with distraction. Enough with watering down your intensity to fit into small spaces. You don't belong where excuses rule. You belong where excellence is demanded. Oh, kill the version that settles for just enough. Because the version that wins, the version that conquers, that breaks barriers, that transforms lives, only emerges when you are no longer interested in living at half capacity. You don't need another reminder. You need a relentless decision, the kind that doesn't beg for permission, the kind that doesn't wait for conditions to be perfect, the kind that refuses to let fear write another sentence in your life. Most people are trapped, not by circumstances, but by hesitation. But by hesitation. What you do consistently is a declaration of who you think you are and what you think you're worth. And if your habits contradict your vision will collapse under the weight of your inconsistency. You don't need another breakthrough. You need to break the cycle of indecision. Let every breath be a reminder that you were not given this life to watch it pass by. You were given this moment to shift something in the atmosphere. You were given this day to be the force that moves mountains, not just in the world, but in your own soul. Because the gap between where you are and where you're meant to be is not time, it's discipline. It's not resources, it's relentless effort. You don't need more motivation, you need stronger resolve. You don't need perfect conditions, you need unwavering clarity. That means showing up when you don't feel like it. That means pushing forward when every emotion says retreat. That means thinking bigger, moving sharper, and refusing to let the temporary dictate the eternal. You weren't created to crawl. You weren't designed to fold. Not next year, not when it's easier, not when you feel ready. Now, this breath, this moment, this decision. You are not powerless. You are not stuck. You are one decision away from acceleration. Make it. Burn the doubts. Silence the fear, eliminate the distractions. And if you're not evolving, you're repeating. Repetition without elevation is regression. You cannot ascend while clinging to the patterns that keep you grounded. You must confront the habits that numb your drive. The excuses that camouflage themselves as logic. The moments when silence screamed louder than encouragement. That's where you win, not in the spotlight, not when you feel strong, but when you refuse to give up even when no one's watching. That's the moment the future bends in your favor. And every moment you choose power over pity, purpose over passivity, you reshape your destiny. You are not here to be accepted. You are here to be unstoppable. The standard has been raised. The season of waiting is over. It responds to the one who moves even when tired, who rises even when broken, who believes even when nothing seems to change. That kind of person is unstoppable. Not because life is easy, but because they are immovable. Your next level demands a new mindset, one that treats excuses like enemies and obstacles like invitations. You must begin to see resistance as a gift, pressure as a signal, delay as a challenge to your intensity. Do not run from the fire. Walk into it with resolve. It is not there to consume you. You are no longer allowed to play small and call it humility. You are no longer permitted to dim your light and call it patience. You are here to expand, to break limits, to defy patterns, to rebuild the version of yourself that was taught to settle. You don't need permission. You need precision. You need precision. When you stop waiting to feel motivated and start choosing to act from discipline, your entire trajectory changes. Because discipline isn't about how you feel, it's about what you've decided. It's about showing up on the days when quitting would be easier.